Dave is the best chainsaw carver in the world. Dave Tremco has been carving chainsaw carvings for 30 years. In 2004, Jay Leno put him on The Tonight Show to demonstrate his skills. He's up in Arlington, he's legendary, and he has brought in a chainsaw carving of a spike gnome for your garden. Now, we'll post these on the website, bobrivers.com. We may end up with a Spike and Joe one, too. And I got to say, this, I caught a glimpse while you were out there. I want to unveil it for you, Spike.
Okay.
I got to say, it captures the essence.
Is it raw,
of
hewn
you.
strength?
You are a wooden man.
Yes.
Trust me. And Dave, welcome to the Bob Rivers Show. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having us on.
All right, that's our pleasure. Like a lot of carvers work with, stone, and a lot of people work with ceramic. Why did you choose wood? And can you tell me what time at the first age you looked at a piece of wood, and did you whittle at first before you didn't get to a chainsaw when you were a kid?
Well, I grew up around chainsaws and cutting firewood because I grew up in Alaska.
Oh.
And you learn at a young age to run a chainsaw up there. And
Like how young?
like
Like, do you go right from nursing to chainsaw?
From nipple to...
No, not that young. Okay, so you don't let a 6 or an 8-year-old.
Oh, my dad had a plywood cutout for me for when I was about 4 years old. So
Okay.
I was wanting to saw even then. But
You would see your dad with the chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
Did he emphasize safety first?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
How many limbs? How many fingers does he have?
I still got all the fingers and toes.
But your dad.
He does too.
Okay, good.
Wow, you guys are the best.
So, and then when you started, it's basically at first it's just about heating, staying warm. How cold did it get in Alaska where you were at?
Well, it gets really cold out there, and so you're cutting firewood all summer to burn in the winter. Well,
How
I
cold?
just-
Like 0,
20 below.
20
easily.
below.
Yeah, mhm.
So we were wussing out yesterday about it being in the teens.
Well, I actually got the gloves out yesterday, so it was a little chilly.
Yeah, even for you. Okay. And then did you at some point start carving statues into it and did your parents say, "Hey, what are you doing? You need to be cutting up the wood," or did they encourage you?
Well, by the time I was a teenager and got my driver's license, I needed gas money, and I found out that I could do chainsaw art and trade the wood carvings for gas money, and just took off from there and never have stopped.
Did the Eskimo chicks think you were hot too, working a chainsaw like that?
Well, yeah, there's one behind every tree, but the problem is there is no trees up there.
I see.
Yes, Joe.
So we moved down here because there's lots of trees here in Washington.
Does chainsaw art sell in Alaska? I would think your kind of thing. If you took it somewhere south of here, it would the further away you got from trees, the better it would sell. Actually,
They sell all over the place. I have them as far north as Fairbanks and as far south as La Jolla, California. And they're all over the place.
How did you get on the Tonight Show?
Well, I was in Chugiak, and hey,
Where were you again?
Chugiak, Alaska, just north of Anchorage there, and the Tom Green was working with the Tonight Show crew at the time, and they had sent him on an all 50 states talent search. Alphabetically, they went to Alabama, then to Alaska.
So you were second.
Well, they pulled over and had seen some carvings I'd done, and he asked if I did anything besides bears and eagles, and so I said, well, what do you want me to carve out Jay Leno for you? And pretty soon I had one carved out for him. And,
So this is the same way you
worked.
got on our show, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's funny. And
Let
so
me get
Jay,
my foot in the door, and here it
did
comes.
you exaggerate the jaw? Because you don't like when you're about to carve Jay Leno, you don't want to piss him off by doing what cartoonists do to him. On
It
the
was
other
a
hand,
little bit of a caricature, but
you want it to be funny. Yeah,
it was great. He liked it.
He did.
He's still got it somewhere in his garage.
Did you prepare it ahead of time and unveil it on the Tonight Show?
I did. I did one in Alaska that was what got me the gig, and then we did it again live on air.
You
during
did
their
it
show.
live. How long? Now wait a minute. That's speed sawing.
8 minutes flat, and it was only during the commercial breaks during the last half of the show.
Okay, so we would go to commercial and
Go
you'd
to
keep
commercial
sawing.
break, and I'd keep sawing.
What kind of Jay Leno can you do in 8 minutes?
Well, it was a large face, big old chin like a cinder block, and the squinty little eyes,
Yeah, you had a speed version design, but you also have one that's statue quality. 'Cause
Well-
this spike thing, by the way, I personally can't imagine how you do this with a chainsaw. It's statue quality. It's amazing.
It's just what I've learned to do, and if this is what I have to do to not hang sheetrock, then that's what I'm going to do it, right?
Is using the same chainsaw you used to chop down trees? Or are there now chainsaws specifically?
Right.
For the art?
Are you like Terry Fader, like with the puppets? Do you have chainsaws for all the different faces?
We have a series of saws. I have about 6 of them, starting with a large and working down to real tiny
The stuff
ones.
for the little chin work. Mm-hmm. How was Spike's beard to do?
That was a little hairy.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Well played, sir.
Are we ready for the big unveiling? I think we are. Give me some dramatic something or other. Here's the dramatic music and perhaps a drum roll too. Luciana's here. She's got the video. We'll post this at bobrivers.com. It's covered up with a jacket right now. And ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, Dave Trenko from Arlington, one of the world-renowned chainsaw artists, did this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Whip it off.
Oh, man. Look at that.
Yeah. That'll scare the aphids off your tomato plants.
Sure
It's
will.
a spike squatch.
That's like 3 feet tall.
It's creepy and just like Spike is.
That's big.
It's awesome. You like it though, don't
Look
you?
at the power that thing possesses. It's beautiful.
It's quite a piece of
gotta
work.
tell ya.
Okay.
We asked you how you wanted imposing, and you were in the rooting stance. You said,
Yeah.
go.
You made it just like that photo, yeah. How long does that take to do?
That took most of a day.
Okay.
Most of
The
a day.
day,
It's a lot of
one
work.
day.
One day.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's not as nightmarish as the little ceramic toy. I love.
I like the
I know
ceramic
you
one
did, 'cause
as
you're-
well. I really
I
do.
did too. But
Is that cedar or what kind of wood is it?
It's Western red cedar.
You know, Spike's got an ego as big as Texas.
Thank you.
And now he has 2 statues. You know, he has
myself.
2 monuments to himself.
That one smells a lot better than you do. Too. That's
much.
a wonderful fragrance.
Question: how many people say "do me"?
There's been a few. Most of them are like, "Can you do my pet?" And
Right.
we do a lot of that. Jill has an event called Pet Palooza that she's going to tell us about here
Ah.
coming up next weekend.
And Jill is your agent, right? She's
Right.
your rep because
Jill
she
runs
handles
a
the
business
business end
called
of
the
things.
Second Street Cabin at 1010 Second Street in Snohomish.
Okay. Jill, like typically, I mean, when people think chainsaw carvings, they think bears and eagles, right? Those are the
Right.
2 most common things, right?
You'd be
And how
surprised.
many people? What percentage is that? Do you think half?
I think half. There's a lot that like everything. They have a big assortment. You have to come and see.
Right. Hey, I would imagine, like, you don't do a Buddha, do you?
I haven't done one.
You've never
but
done a Buddha.
There's
See,
a number of us that work at the cabin there, and for instance, Patrick Canavan, Jerry Henniger, Tomas Verba, Jesse Perdum.
these are all
Mgee.
chainsaw carvers. Do you have like a?
Chainsaw
Are you
carving.
like their master and their
There's 7
apprentices?
Yes, actually. Yeah,
Wow.
he is.
he would
You're
be
the
a guru.
Myself and my wife are right in the fray with him. On the weekends, it gets pretty noisy out there,
Wow.
and everybody has a different style, and one of us is bound to do.
Yeah.
You could get
You
a
do whatever you want. Hey, Eric, doesn't this remind you a little of Bali?
Yeah.
Because we don't have, in Bali, you go to different neighborhoods and there's woodworkers, there's artists, there's silversmiths, and they all live in their little village. And then there's one who's like a guru, and then they have all these people working under them. And